What's up, boys and girls? How are you doing? Happy hump day. Hey, chat, guess what day it is? Man, what a night last night, huh? You guys enjoy that out of nowhere rain for Wrigley to strip me of some of my favorite pitching plays. German Marquez, little Justin Steele. And then we had to switch it up, right? And then, naturally I ended up going a little bit more Flaherty. Not what you want. And then, really, I don't know. I don't think I had any, insane pitching performances. Garcia, I guess, was my top performing and top owned self pitcher. Past that, I was really reliant on the bats. So I really wonder how last night would have went had German Marquez been left for me. What can you do? Them's the breaks, man. That is DFS. I love this song. Last night, Brandon Belt, Hunter Renfroe, Anthony Santander, top scorers on the slate. If you played KBO, I hope you played Dong Won Park, because he had 2 homers, but I didn't play KBO, so yeah. Brandon Belt said after the game that morning, yesterday morning, his grandma had passed away, and he had dedicated that game to her. 4 hits, 2 bombs. Huge game. Hunter Renfroe was one of my higher owned players personally. He was actually the top player on the bomb detector we saw on the stream yesterday. We tweeted it out. So yeah, he delivered with a pair of Yabo shots. And outside of that, I think the Angel stack was the trendy stack. It was a kind of a funny stack when you looked at it, right? They dropped 14 runs, and the worst play on the team was Shohei Ohtani, right? Just like you drew it up if you stacked them. So, hopefully you had a lot of Jose Iglesias, Jared Walsh, those guys. But yeah, Ohtani, one of the lowest scoring, most expensive one. So what can you do? Anyway, what up, chat? What up, Quinn? What up, dang lazy mofo? Mia Moore, Lincoln, Rich homie Quinn would have been better off falling asleep and leaving in Marquez. Man, dude, that's tough. I swear, if Marquez pitches like a CGSO today, he didn't pitch the first game, right? I guess I can look at that. I think Gomber pitched the first game, and I think he's due up second. So it would be a game to watch. Chicago. I know I just saw David Boat homered. So I think that was off of Gomber. Marquez outscored Flaherty and didn't even pitch MLB. Yeah, MLB as well. Gomber's going for the Cubs right now. Did that second game hit the main slate? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. No. Dang. You know what? A 7-inning German Marquez against the Cubs, that would have been like one of the few times I would have liked to seen a doubleheader game catch the slate. That would have been, you know what? Gosh dang it. I'm going to go get my money back. But we do have decent pitching options nonetheless. Brandon Woodruff, Zach Wheeler, Walker Buehler, Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray. I mean, pitching is definitely deep tonight, especially at the high end. Maybe, I guess, if you start dumpster diving, I guess you could justify the 7,500 on Blake Snell, but the matchup's not fun. But I think that the high end is just fine. So I don't think we'll be struggling to pick some names tonight. I think Ohtani's still probably a little too cheap considering his matchup and his upside. And he'll probably trend towards the highest owned pitcher. But what can you do, man? It is what it is. You play the cards that you're dealt. So I do like pitching today. We will be going game by game as we go throughout this stream. We will be using the RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. You guys know the drill. It is available and accessible to you. All you need is a subscription at RunDFS.com. Zach Wilson. What up, Zach? Santander was the best fantasy player in the game for Baltimore. Yeah. We talked about how, for the DH, his price is kind of low. I just got a weird message. His price was kind of low, but, he got there. Chat today, I got a goal. You guys think we can get crazy here? This is my live sub count, 5295. Could we get to 5,300 today? So I'm going to keep plugging this today. We was actually at 5297 when I went to sleep, so two of y'all decided, F this guy, I'm out. So I'm gonna try and shill for five subscribers today on the YouTube channel. So if you are watching, you're not subscribed, or you don't know if you're subscribed, you're logged in, maybe look below. If you see that lit up red subscribe button, click on it to show some love. If you follow me on Twitter, as we do every day, we tweet out the link. You want to hit me with that young retweet. Maybe a couple new eyes will land on it. Maybe they'll turn into subscribers. But we're trying to grow, right? We're trying to grow. And then, we'll go game by game here. You guys know the drill. Stream brought to you by PrizePicks. As we get through the slate a little bit, we'll start looking at some of the PrizePicks projections on the board. Maybe discuss betting some overs and some unders. If you guys have already done a little bit of research, got a couple of bullets in your chamber, and have some plays and some guys that you're on, or any fun facts you want to share with the class, be sure to drop it in chat. We will be bouncing back and forth with chat throughout the stream like we do every day. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Gundacker's ready. It's time for the first pitch. Speaking of which, Braves fans, where you at? Angels at the Orioles. First game on the docket. Shohei Ohtani on the bump for the Angels of Anaheim up against Christopher Ellis. So Chris Ellis is a name I don't recall typing as a starting pitcher previously this season. So we're going to do a little bit of research on him to kind of understand what we're dealing with. I don't imagine he's any good, at least long term, because Orioles pitching has just been so bad. Went 4 innings against Tampa Bay, got 7 strikeouts and just 3 hits. So maybe my imagination has done this kid a disservice. So let's see if we can. It wasn't Drew Ellis, right? It was Chris Ellis. Let me look up maybe his minor league numbers to see if he's better than I'm giving him credit for. So I don't think this is him. Maybe it's Christopher Ellis. That came back. Oh, no, it is him. Okay. So let's go look at his minor league numbers. With that said, he only went to 62 pitches, so maybe 70, 75 is the expectation here. I don't think I'm going to talk myself into playing him, hopefully. Let's see what we're dealing with. So in the minors, we got 20.1 innings. He had a 7.08 ERA, 284 average allowed, 23 strikeouts and 20 innings pitched, so over a strikeout per inning. And then 36.2 innings to righties, 35 strikeouts, 1.5 on the ground out to air out ratio, and 1.5 on the whip to both sides of the plate. So elevated whip to both lefties and righties. And then when it came to homers, 6 bombs in 20 innings, 8 in 36. Those are really bad power numbers. So does look like maybe he was on a little bit of the lucky side in his last outing here. He had a negative FIP with 4 innings, just a 2-2 ground ball fly ball ratio, but it doesn't look like he had a lot of batted ball events, just 4 of them in total. So I guess we'll look at pitch report, what kind of velocity we're dealing with, because his minor league numbers don't really scare me. He had a 94 mile an hour fastball, 86 mile an hour slider that was negatively graded in that one game. Then he had a positive curveball at 17%, and a changeup. 4 pitch pitcher, so maybe that was a unique thing. But his minor league numbers really aren't that staggering. So I'm going to project incredible regression for him, and then say that the Angels have a couple bats that will probably be in play. The bad thing about the Angels here is you can't put Ohtani in your Angel stacks, which would have been a good thing last night. But Yeah, I'm willing to bet on regression here. I'm willing to bet on this Orioles bullpen, considering to no home runs allowed this year. For who? For Ellis? Am I looking at the wrong? Am I looking at the wrong thing? For Ellis in the minors, I've got 57 innings pitched with what is that? 14 homers. Unless you meant in the majors. Anyway, I'm willing to bank on regression here for the Chris Ellis show, and then that Orioles bullpen we know is so bad. So I think the Angel stack is back in play. I will say that their strikeout rates are pretty high. So one thing Ellis did show is a decent ability to get some strikeouts in the minors. He had a 25.8% swing and strike rate in that last game. Completely unsustainable. So maybe that goes back down to 12. With that said, the Angels do strike out a lot. So I would not be stunned if we didn't get like a super high octane game out of the Angels like they did last night. But I think you have to get on some Angels. I would not love this spot if the Angels were projected to be extremely high owned. A lot of people got success last night and came back to the well tonight. But at this park, Camden Yards, we've talked about one of the more sought after hitting environments for hitters. 5.4 implied run total for the Angels. I mean, they are in play pre-flop. I think once the ownership, we get our ear to the ground and absorb ownership projections, we'll be able to run back and really make some more leverage decisions. But I'm there on the Angel stack. Theoretically, the Orioles side, I'm leaning more towards Ohtani like everyone else is, right? Ohtani's probably going to be one of my favorite pitchers, points per dollar. Big time outing in his last start against Detroit. It's hard to look at his game log on either site as a pitcher, so I want to see if StatMuse can help us with the aesthetics. So we're going to do Shohei Ohtani DKP by game log when pitching last 10 games. Let's see if that'll help some aesthetics here. It did not help. DKP by game log as starting pitcher last 10 games. Seems like there's not really a strong source. There we go. That helps. All right, so last couple games for Ohtani. I guess we can zoom in as a pitcher for us. 32, 22, 25, 24. We would take every single one of those outcomes today at this price point. Bad game against Oakland. Did fine against Boston. Yankees got him, ran him out the stadium in one inning. But for the most part, your median range of outcome for Ohtani has been near 20 DKP. So I think he's absolutely somebody that gives you a softer landing at 8,700. And he is somebody that gets a okay to strong matchup with a lot of 20% K rates or better. Yeah, this park might be a little trolly, but I think the price kind of compensates for the park. So I'm in on Ohtani on DraftKings. I understand the stronger debate on Fanduel at 11.6K, but on DK, he's got to be one of my favorite points per dollar pitching options, and I think the ownership will likely reflect that. But it is what it is. I'm in on him. Let me get caught up on chat here. My Braves got swept. Hey man, we tried to let y'all win that game by putting Aroldis Chapman in the mix, but what can you do? In the majors, no Chris Ellis. Yeah, I mean Chris Ellis is like I said, one game sample size. Sometimes you see pitchers come up, catch a team off guard, and then regression comes, like Tyler Gilbert, right? Come up, throw a no-hitter, and then you kind of look at the metrics and the batted ball data, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe there's something to be had here. I mean, in Ellis's one start, what we got, a 60% hard contact rate to righties, 300 average allowed, a 40% line drive rate. Like, if you keep doing that, good things are not going to keep happening. And he doesn't look like a negative xFIP pitcher. So unless you believe Chris Ellis is DeGrom, I would absolutely expect regression. With that said, I do want to say it would not stun me if he had a solid outing against the Angels and this ridiculous K rate lineup, 26% to 30+% K rates. Some average pitchers have put up masterful performances against this lineup, but I don't know that I'm believing in Ellis's pitch count. He did get strikeouts at an okay clip in the minors, and at 4K against this lineup, like I don't think like the thought itself isn't like crazy if you treated him as a baseball bat to get you 12 to 15. I don't know that I'm gonna land there yet because I do like the top end pitching, and I feel like that might be putting a little too much makeup on, right? Who am I getting cute for by doing that? The Angels do strike out a lot, right? Adam says if you go back further in the majors, he's even worse. For Chris Ellis, yeah, I mean, if you go into 2019, a 500 average allowed to righties, 50% line drive rate, but that's only one inning. So we're really dealing with 5 innings of sample size in 3 years. Is he even a prospect, or is he like some 30-year-old? He was born in 92, so he's got a little age on him. He's 4 years younger than myself. So he's not like some super guy. So yeah, let's get caught up on chat. Lorenzo, what's up, Lorenzo? I'm stacking O's in a line or two, and Ohtani another one with a mini stack Angel. So I haven't looked at ownership projections, but perhaps it's one of those scenarios where if Ohtani did grab a crazy ownership next to his name, right? If it pushed 40-50%, I don't think it's a crazy thought to grab a couple A's bats. And if you wanted a full stack them in 150, get to like 5%, something like that. I mean, that's how you use leverage. I usually don't try to make it a point to leverage against my highest owned pitchers unless the field's also really high on them. But the park is just fine here in the bullpen. As we saw yesterday, Orioles bats can hit bad pitching. So if the bullpen got in early, I wouldn't mind looking at a couple of these Orioles bats. Not considering Ohtani in terms of who's pitching, just in and of themselves. Anthony Santander still under 3K as your DH likely to bat cleanup as a switch hitter. And then a couple of guys that are, 3K specials. And then Trey Mancini, Mountcastle, I think he had 2 bombs yesterday. Maybe he's a little bit better of a Fanduel play, but yeah, there's still individually justifiable plays on the Orioles team, so I don't mind it. What up, CE8? How we doing, chat? I don't know. Some of you guys might have got in a little bit late, but my goal today is to get 5 new subscribers on YouTube. My live count's 5295. Trying to get to 5,300 today. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to keep plugging that every now and then throughout the stream. And hopefully lurkers will maybe hit that subscribe button, show some love, help us achieve some goals. And if you follow me on Twitter, hit that retweet button on the stream. Phillies hosting the Rays. Yesterday, Nelly Cruz played first base. I was not expecting that. They're going to give him the day off today. This lineup is out. Brandon Lau, Wander Franco, Joey Wendell, Randy Arozarena is batting. Cleanup Brett Phillips, best laugh in the land, batting 5th. Kevin Kiermaier batting 7th. And Francisco Mejia is batting 8th. So this is actually one of the lower power lineups the Rays could offer up against a righty. Just a 200-plus ISO on Lau and Brett Phillips. But Phillips and Lau will accompany that ISO with extremely high K rates. So you throw in that pitcher spot, losing the DH for the Rays. Going against Zach Wheeler, it really was one of the more favorable lineups you could throw at Zach Wheeler in my estimation. Phillies lineup is Gene Segura, JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, Rhys Hoskins is batting cleanup. Andrew McCutcheon's batting 5th. Freddie Galvis is back in the lineup. I feel like he's missing time. Ronald Torreyes is batting 7th, and then Lucas Williams is batting 8th. Is he just Luke Williams? Is that the gimmick here? Luke Williams? Yeah, all right. So both lineups confirmed for the Phillies and the Rays. Yarbrough on the bump for the Rays. The Phillies as a team against lefties actually project pretty decently well. I mean, there's a lot of green next to batting average here, a lot of 270 pluses, and a decent chunk of ISO. So I wouldn't hate the thought process behind getting to a couple Phillies. Phillies have just a 4.4 implied run total. Giving a lot of respect to Yarbrough here. Yarbrough is a guy with a 4.64 xFIP to righties, a 3.63 to lefties. Going to see more righties than lefties, and the one lefty is Bryce Harper, who, he's such a high profile hitter. He can hit anybody. Something I want to do with Yarbrough, if you guys got the time, I want to see how Yarbrough's fared this season when we take him out of Tropicana in terms of batted ball data. Just generally speaking, his strikeout rate has plummeted, right? 16.6% strikeout rate on the road, almost a 2 home run per 9. Throwing strikes, the hard contact still really, really low, but everything in between is kind of yucky. So the 4.4 run total feels a little soft for Yarbrough generally in this spot, but I'm curious, so I'll pull up some splits on him and see if there's any staggering differences in his batted ball data to righties when it comes to home versus away. So batted ball data, home versus righties. Tropicana is a little bit different of a environment for pitchers. The foul territory, the roof, the turf, things play a little bit different versus your typical stadium. So it is one of those stadiums I like to split on. Home versus righties, though, it looks like a lot of stats are really mirroring and parodying each other. The infield hit percentage has been higher at home. Maybe that's turf induced. He's allowed a little bit higher pull rate. I don't really think these are staggering splits to say, okay, this is why he's worse. I just think the results have been different. The hard contact being what it is and the fly ball rates being essentially the same. I just think the numbers would point a little bit more towards luck and park factors versus anything else. So if I wanted to pick on Yarbrough here, JT Realmuto, Rhys Hoskins, Segura even, there's a lot of guys that stick out here. So I'll say because of the run total being so low, because of how much green I got on the top half of this Philly on the spreadsheet, I probably get to some Phillies. Just to, if that means I'm a little bit different, then I'll be a little bit different. But I think they have a shot here to get to an average at best lefty. So give me some of them. I like that they hit for average here. I do think that the Rays bullpen is good, so it's not like a high confidence stack, but I'm thinking from a tournament standpoint, if I got to fill out 150, I think the Phillies could be a little bit intriguing to me in Citizens Bank here. I don't think I'm going against Wheeler. I think Wheeler's going to be one of my favorite pitchers to roster today. He's just been a beast at home, a 31% K rate, 2.63 xFIP, just really, really getting it done. And the Rays did not put out a super menacing lineup, so I think I will be liberally rostering Wheeler. He might be a tier, I don't know, tier one. He might be my highest owned pitcher, but I'm just assuming that Ohtani ends up being my highest owned just because of his price. But I think 10K is probably a little too soft for Wheeler in this spot. The Rays don't scare me like they do a lot of people. At least not this incarnation. Nelson Cruz definitely somebody that balances out at Arizona, since maybe the results not what you want, but I do think I'm not overthinking. He dropped 34 against Tampa earlier this season, so yeah, give me Zach Wheeler a decent chunk. Put him in the pool so far with Ohtani. Give him some Phillies bats, Philly stacks, and I probably don't get to any Rays bats by choice here. If they fall into a random optimized line, so be it. But I probably don't get to any of them short entry, you know. Lorenzo says, I'm going to have Freddie Galvis in half my lines. Is that just a feeling in your bad knee with the storm coming in? Because I don't really have a specific, unless you mean like on Fanduel, like he's 2K and it helps. But I don't, Like I'm not necessarily saying he's a bad play, but like, is there a reason why he's a 50%er for you? Because I'm not seeing anything like specifically that would make me be super high on him. Is Yarbrough starting? Is he coming in after an opener? Good question. I have him as a starter, but we can double check. And Tampa. So DraftKings basically has him as the probable starter. That's what I've seen on Fantasy Labs. So to my knowledge, he is the starter. If that changes, we'll react accordingly. If that changes, it doesn't really change my approach here. I just gotta go with the flow and stick to my guns on a little bit of Phillies bats, but I got him listed as a starter. But that definitely could change with Kevin Cash. What's up, Mouse? Yo, shout out to Mouse. Yo, Mouse has been crushing it. A couple days. You talk about balling on a budget, right? Mouse makes me proud. I love people that send me screenshots where they flip 2K into 8K, 12K. But Mouse has been sending me some fun screenshots where he's flipping, a $20 bill into hundreds, and that's the everyman grind, right? I love that. So shout out to Mouse, being a little streaky lately. How's the slate looking in general? Unless we have some surprise weather, I think this is a decent slate, decent pitching, decent ways to go, and the leverage and the contrarian stacks are kind of building themselves. So hopefully it ends up being as good as it feels like. I feel like this is just a fine slate to exercise your baseball DFS knowledge. Let's move on to the next game. D-backs at the Pirates. We've got Tyler Gilbert taking on Bryce Wilson. Question mark. Does DraftKings have Wilson as the confirmed starter? Yeah, they have him project. All right, so Bryce Wilson, Tyler Gilbert. We don't have a Pirates lineup, but we do have the D-backs lineup confirmed. What was the change? It was like Noah Asdrubal, right? Noah Asdrubal, Cabrera in this confirmed lineup. Ketel Marte is in the mix. This lineup is really, but again, just like yesterday, right? You don't get out of bed to stack Pirates and D-backs with a high level of confidence, but both of these pitchers project bad. Gilbert, he had that no-hitter to open, but it was all. Not all, but it was very luck based in terms of batted ball data, right? He had 3 strikeouts going into the 8th inning. His defense was in the right spot. And then he went to Coors, and things got a little bit different. And then today, he's taking his 5.72 xFIP so far to righties, his 3.84 xFIP to lefties. His numbers in the minors weren't like super incredible. And then Bryce Wilson, we know he is bad. So unstoppable force, immovable object, bad hitting teams versus bad pitchers. What do we do with this one? Well, against Bryce Wilson, what do I want to pick on him with? Generally speaking, lefties, 6.31 xFIP, 9% K rate, 298 average allowed, and a 2.25 home run per 9. At home, the home run per 9's been over 2, and that is saying something for PNC Park. So who is left-handed that we can get behind with any type of confidence? Ketel Marte's probably the number one guy, easily their most talented player. A 4.19 bomb detector rating, 14% K rate. Like all of his metrics match up really well to have at least a solid day against Bryce Wilson. Quinn, I saw you mention PrizePicks in the chat. How about Ketel Marte? What's his projection on PrizePicks? And if you're watching and you keep hearing about PrizePicks, or you never heard about PrizePicks, go sign up, man. Make yourself an account and use code GUNDACKER. Show me a little bit of love for the daily streams. And if you use my code, I think even if you just sign up, they give you double your first deposit up to $100. But if you use my code, it lets them know that I sent you, and then once a month they send me a little thank you package about recommending the site to them. So Nelson Cruz at 6.5, not in the lineup. I would imagine that they need him to start for that to happen. But I think Nelson Cruz does get an at bat today. So I wonder if you can get away with under 6.5. if him just getting at bat would validate that. Well, and of course he'll homer. What are we looking for? We're looking for Ketel Marte, right? So Ketel Marte's at 7.5. That does feel a little bit high. But usually if I like a guy, especially a guy for power, I'll just take it because a home run's going to exceed that projection. So maybe I consider Ketel Marte, talented switch hitter, probably is going to get 5-6 at-bats in this spot. 7.5, yeah, I'd probably take a look at that. So against Bryce Wilson, give me a little bit of Ketel Marte. Stack-wise, the D-backs have just a 4.3 run total. It's the same as the Pirates. You feel like this game could get sloppy, and one of the teams supersedes their projection here, but it's not a warm and fuzzy spot. So I think I ugly stack both teams here at a low percentage, maybe 5-6%, 100, 150, and then a 20 max. I probably wouldn't get to either team with any full stand stacks. Just maybe a one off of Marte. He's the one that's kind of sticking out, And then, yeah, like you said, Quinn, Marte is a Swiss Army knife in terms of what he can offer offensively. He can hit for a little power. He can hit for great average. And every now and then he can swipe a bag. So I don't mind looking his way. 16. He's got double-digit DK fantasy points in all but 2 of his last 10. So over 7.5 feels like it would just be par for the course, right? So I'm in on that. Give me that against Bryce Wilson. So PrizePicks, I guess we'll log that, right? We'll go Ketel Marte, open it up here. We'll go over, and then we'll keep it moving, and maybe something else will pop up soon. Yeah, I know. Definitely gonna try out PrizePicks. Yeah, man, give it a shot. My advice when you get on PrizePicks is don't have that noob parlay guy mentality, right? You see that a lot. Be smart about it. Try a couple 2-pick cards. You don't have to go 4 or 5 full send it for 10x. You can, but I usually like to find 4 to 5 picks that I really like, and then I'll just like spin the wheel on a couple 2-3 leg cards on them, and then they have a flex option and a power play option. If you guys haven't tried PrizePicks, the flex play allows you to get one wrong and still get paid back, and then the power play option allows you to 10x, but you got to hit everything. It's basically a parlay. So be a little smart about it. It's very fun, but it is also something that I like to do as a more of a cash game mindset than a GPP mindset, because you can grind 2 picks versus the house, and you're not facing the field. It's a really cool site. I definitely enjoyed it for NBA. I don't play it as much as I probably should for baseball, but maybe tonight I'll get back into the swing of it. We didn't have a Pirates lineup, right? All right, let's move on to the next game here. White Sox at the Blue Jays. Lucas Giolito up against Robbie Ray. White Sox lineup is out, and it is confirmed. Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada batting second. Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert is batting fifth. Andrew Vaughn batting sixth. Cesar Hernandez is batting seventh. Lurie Garcia and Sebi Zavala. So that's our confirmed White Sox lineup. We do not have a confirmed Blue Jays lineup yet. This is a game that's going to throw 2 plus pitchers at each other. So I do think that there's a world where the run prevention abilities of both pitchers kind of shine here. And there's also a world where like a team like the White Sox can tap into Robbie Ray's home run struggles. I do think I think this is one of those, if you're running 100, 150, where I have a little bit of every outcome, right? I'm going to have some Robbie Ray exposure, 8,900. That's a soft landing, even for a not super sharp game. He does have a lot of strikeout ability in him this year, a 27.6% strikeout rate at home, 30.7% K rate overall. That's probably the more fair metric to use, since they've had 3 home fields, and it's not really fair to say that this number specifically holds up. But 30% overall against righties, over 33% to lefties. We really isolate the righty number because this White Sox lineup comes out all righties. A 3.6 xFIP to righties, 30% K rate. The White Sox lineup has just 1, 2, 3 guys in this projected lineup with over a 22% K rate, and these are the 30 bombs. So there is some pushback to be had here, which is why I would have some exposure to the White Sox stack as well. But you can give me Robbie Ray right now as an obscure number. I'm thinking 20% might be the starting point. I'm willing to go backwards on that number as we go forward. But 8,900 or 16 to 20 is kind of the soft landing spot to still give me a puncher's chance. I'd be in on that. Last couple games for him: Detroit, Seattle, Boston, Cleveland. He's just really had Boston a few times as the tough spot. So maybe this matchup becomes one of his toughest matchups of the season. And bad things happen to good people. So that's why I'm going to have a little bit of a back pocket White Sox stacks. If I wanted to pick on Robbie Ray, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We want power righties that can beat a strikeout pitcher. Jose Abreu. He went Yabo yesterday. I think somebody in chat brought him up for BVP purposes, and he actually had like a 50 at-bat sample size. He picked up where he left off. Tim Anderson, I think, is coming off a day of rest. He is likely the best guy to put a chip on for multi-hit game here. But for a little bit of power, Anderson, Abreu, and Andrew Vaughn have projected the best against lefties in terms of isolated power, and a 1. OPS so far for Andrew Vaughn. Just 2 players on the White Sox team have walked away with a 4+ rating on the bomb detector, and that is Vaughn and Abreu. But I would be putting some White Sox stacks together and probably put them at like a 6% cumulative ownership in my personal lineups. Lucas Giolito pitching for the White Sox here. This Blue Jays lineup still unconfirmed, but they come out really, really scrappy. Not a ton of strikeouts to be had. Just Teoscar Hernandez and Randall Grichuk at 25% or greater. Rest of the lineup is pretty green, 20%-ish or less. So Giolito's going to have to earn his strikeouts, kind of like Ohtani and Ray here. I do think the price makes him a little bit more viable to me at 8,300, right? There's a world where he's probably underpriced. If he got you 18 DKP at 8,300, at least for me personally, I'd probably accept that. Matchup's really, really tough, so it wouldn't be a warm and fuzzy click, but I do think we're being compensated with this price, allowing for a little bit of a lower than average performance. He's averaging 19 fantasy points a game as is, so even if I took his average here, I'd walk away with it. Obviously, this game is important to both teams. Again, a little bit more important to the White Sox now than the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are losing their grip on a playoff shot. But 8,300, I'm there on Giolito. With that said, pushing back, this Blue Jays offense still has some pop in and of themselves with a little bit of upside. We haven't really experienced that lately, but this White Sox series has just been a really tough series pitching wise. So Bo Bichette's been their leadoff guy. You can give me this entire lineup as chip and chairs here. The weakness for Giolito so far this season, results wise, has been home runs to righties. On the road, he's gotten that down to just a 109 home run per nine. So really, really tough pitcher. I'm more inclined to have more White Sox stacks than Blue Jay stacks, but Giolito and Robbie Ray are in the mix for me very well. And yeah, did you guys have any like secret plays from this one? This is just like a mass entry spot for me for stack wise. I don't think I'm stacking in 20, although the White Sox could break that argument for me, but I don't think I'm stacking in 20 or less. Maybe in 50, I would definitely get to a little bit of White Sox, just a little bit. And then 150, yeah, there's no reason not to. What up, Zach Wilson for MVP? How about Eloy? Eloy Jimenez, yeah, 5,200 on DK. I think he might be a stronger play on Fanduel if you appreciate the dramatic price discrepancy. He does have one of the higher K rates on the White Sox team, so he's going to be one of the tougher bats to project to get to Robbie Ray and his 30% K rate. But I mean, he's Eloy Jimenez, right? He's really good at baseball, so it is what it is. K Johnson, what up, Johnson? Robert in the 5 spot looks good too. Yeah, his price finally starting to creep up after batting second for a couple games. But yeah, he's another guy that hits lefties for a great average. Can still give you some pop. I just think through and through the White Sox lineup against lefties is generally one of my favorite stacks. So Robbie Ray is probably the toughest lefty to put him against. Is that a fair statement? Kershaw has been down. Yeah, I think for me that's just a fair statement. I remember them against Jordan Montgomery. Montgomery diced them up, but I just think I'll never not have some White Sox against lefties. Pirates lineup came out. We don't have to go backwards. Let's go forward and keep it moving. Nats at the Marlins. Next game on the docket. Josiah Gray taking on Edward Cabrera. 2 young gun pitchers, man. Nationals lineup is confirmed. Lane Thomas once again leading off. Alcides Escobar, Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Yadiel Hernandez, Carter Kieboom, Luis Garcia, Riley Adams is batting 8th, and then Josiah Gray in the 9th spot as the pitcher. You guys have kind of seen the makeup of Josiah Gray so far. A little bit all over the place in terms of metrics, but what's really, really important in this spot, favorable pitching park, it's the Marlins that strike out a ton. Josiah Gray can get you strikeouts. 26% K rate to lefties, 29% to righties. On the road, he's got a 45% K rate. I mean, we're just dealing with 30 innings of sample size. But he was that guy in the minors as well. Also had an elevated walk rate problem. But it's the Marlins, right? Do we offset some of those issues with the fact that he can go out there and dice them up? In the minors, he went 198 innings with 228 strikeouts, a 0.93 whip. So he's absolutely that guy. He is that guy, pal. So Josiah Gray, add him to the list. I mean, this is a really deep pitching pool today, at least pre-flop. Last couple games, 4, 6 strikeouts, 10. I mean, he has had a gauntlet, right? Look at this strength of schedule. Toronto, who we just discussed, not a high strikeout team. Atlanta was on just came off a 9-game win streak. We know that they're good. Philly, you can make an argument that they're good. And then the Dodgers twice, and he's still just kind of holding his own. So I am a little bit excited to see what he can do against a weaker lineup. Has gotten to 87 pitches. So if I just softly project him for 90, does that give me 6 innings? Does that give me 8 strikeouts? Let's go look at the K factory on this one. So Josiah Gray against this projected Marlins lineup brings back a 7.46 strikeout projection on 90 pitches. So maybe we go back to PrizePicks here and kind of see what his strikeout prop is. No shot we get some soft number here, right? I feel like I'm losing my voice, chat. 32.5 fantasy points. What about strikeouts? 6. I'd take 6 as a push. And then 6 as a push. And then, build from there. Was he with the Dodgers for these 2 games that say Dodgers? Sometimes it'll do that. I guess let me go back to Fantasy Labs. I don't want to say that he pitched against the Dodgers if that's not true. Yeah, he was with the Dodgers for that Rockies game, so I wanted to correct that. But past that, yeah, tough strength of schedule. So I'm in on Josiah Gray here. I don't think that's a secret, but I'm in on him against this Marlins lineup. Edward Cabrera coming up to pitch for the Marlins today. Let's pull up his minor league numbers. I know against Cabrera in MLB The Show, it's not fun. So if you like loose video game assumptions, he's good. 341 innings in his career against in the minors, 361 strikeouts this year in the minors, 61 innings, 92. So over 30 strikeouts than innings pitched. And then if we look at his game logs lately, how stretched out can we project him? July, where's August? August, here we go. 4, 6 innings his last 3 starts, 11, 12, 6 strikeouts. He is a problem. I think we're gonna get down with both pitchers here. 5K for Cabrera. If he's a stretched out starter, that could be a problem. So, has anyone seen a number on potential pitch count for him? I'm assuming he's fully stretched out. He got to 6 innings in 2 of his last 3. My source doesn't show number of pitches and thrown here, but yeah, 6 innings a couple times. I'm assuming he's stretched out, ready to go. So I think he's in play for me at 5K. I don't want to get too excited here, because I don't know if there's a specific like welcome to the show, be careful with him plan from Jeter or whatever. But at 5K, I think he's way more talented going against a lineup that may have a couple of hiccups in terms of strikeouts, but I'm in on Cabrera as a good pitcher. Looking at his split specifically, though, going against Juan Soto, is this a super weakness? Again, that's not giving me minor numbers here. I don't know, Chad. I might be in on 5K Cabrera. I probably have to be responsible with it, but he's definitely a guy with some strikeout potential. So give me a little bit of him. Give me a little bit of Gray. I'm not that excited about the game in itself. The Marlins have just a 3.8 implied run total. That's the same as the Nats. I mean, that's saying something for a call-up pitcher to not a call-up pitcher to have a 3.8 run total for the opposing team. There's a little bit of respect there. So I'm in on both pitchers here. Does PrizePicks have a number on Cabrera? I don't think so. Yeah, they do. 4.5. He was a beast. So I might be curious with that number. I feel like that's low enough. Looking at this Nats lineup, we're at Lane Thomas 26, Yadiel Hernandez 25%, Carter Kieboom 30%, Riley Adams, and then Josiah Gray. Like those, that's 5, right? So that's 5, 1, and 4 K rates. If he gets to the order twice, I'd probably take 4.5 as a hunch. So yeah, give me both pitchers here. I'm just kind of talking in circles. Lane Thomas, though, for pushing back, leading off for the Nats, bare bones min price on both sites, or on DK 2200 on Fanduel. Has had a couple of strong games. I'm not that super enamored in this spot specifically, but just in and of themselves in terms of value, points per dollar. Yeah, there's a lot of lucrativity in this leadoff spot. But this Marlins game could be really, really low scoring. So let's move on to the next game. Sorry if I just talked everyone into a weird circle, but that's the point of the research streams. Giants at the Mets. Johnny Cueto taking on Taiwan Walker. Cueto 7.6K on DraftKings. Taiwan Walker 7.3K. Giants a 4.1 implied run total. The Mets 4.5. So not a lot of juice here run wise. I did like the Giants a little bit yesterday. They kind of did fine for me. We talked about, I think it was Brandon Belt. He had the homage to his grandma game that we didn't really know about till the post-game interview. But against Taiwan Walker, I mean, this guy has an elevated xFIP to both sides of the plate. I do think this Giants lineup can get through to him. It does project to be extremely lefty-heavy against lefties. Walker at 4.45 xFIP. The results, the average allowed, the home run per nine have been really strong, but he does have an elevated walk rate to lefties, and the line drive rate's over 20%, the fly ball rate's 41%, the ground ball rate being really, really low. So if this Giants team can come out hit for average against a contact pitcher, I kind of like their chances to kind of ruffle the feathers a little bit. So I don't mind cherry picking here. High octane, high upside spot, maybe not, but I'm fine with grabbing exposure to this team because I do think they are a pretty good team. Cueto on the bump for the Giants here. So far, his weakness has been lefties. 4.52 xFIP to lefties, a 1.41 homer per nine to lefties, 264 average allowed. A couple of lefties with some pop here on the Mets lineup. Brandon Nimmo, Lindor could be back today. Javi Baez in the mix. I think someone told me that there was a Lindor and Javi Baez hiccup. I don't know if that was true or not. So Lindor is listed as a shortstop and Baez is listed as a shortstop. So you have to choose between Javi Baez and versus if you want to stack the Mets, you have to choose between Baez and Lindor, which would be quite inconvenient. Kind of reminds me when the Padres had Jay Cronenworth and Fernando Tatis as both shortstop. So that kind of throws a monkey wrench into the stack itself because, two of the potential top 5 guys in the lineup definitely would want both to fill out a stack. But I don't really feel compelled to full send the Mets stack here. I probably just cherry pick against righties for Cueto. 284 average allowed, so Pete Alonso might be able to get on base a few times. You really, if you're paying $5K for these bats, Lindor, Alonso, Javi Baez, you really want to be able to project power at a decent clip. And for what it's worth, Cueto has been a ground ball pitcher to righties. It's the lefties that really look like we might get some extra base hits out of. So take that for what it's worth. Chat, where are we at? Chat's dead right now. Wake up. Show me that you exist by hitting that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Let's move on. Twins at the Red Sox. We do have both lineups for this game. The Twins, Bailey Ober. The Red Sox, Nick Pivetta. Max Kepler. Jorge Polanco is batting second for the Twins. Josh Donaldson batting third. Luis Ariz. Miguel Sano. Nick Gordon, brother of D. Gordon. Ryan Jeffers. Jake Cave. And then Angelton Simmons. That's your confirmed Twins lineup. Do you guys see that Baez missed swing? Man, I tell you what, it's probably not fair because I bet, I know the Yankees, but I bet there's a lot of guys that if you slow-mo their swing and misses, it looks bad. But that one specifically, I don't know, hitting a baseball is the toughest thing ever to do. But Baez looked like, woof, he was a little early on that one. Kike Hernandez, Kyle Schwarber, Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, JD Martinez, Alex Verdugo, Hunter Renfroe, Travis Shaw, and Christian Vasquez. The confirmed lineup for the Red Sox. I like this game specifically offensively. 4.7 is your implied run total for the Twins. Red Sox, 5.9. Yesterday, Hunter Renfroe hit not one, but 2 homers at the top of the bomb detector. They put up a lot of runs. Kike Hernandez got him one as well. So I think I'll be right back there on the Red Sox today as a stack that I'm seeking to roster at a decent to high clip. Pitching, we've already talked about. There's a lot of options at each level, cheap, medium, and large. So I'm fine with the price points and not really going to overthink it. So give me the Red Sox stack. Probably be number 1 pre-flop. I'm sure the field ownership might reflect that as well. But what are you going to do? Nick Pivetta on the bump for the Red Sox, a 4.26 xFIP to righties, 4.64 to lefties, 1.35 home run per 9 to lefties. The walk rate is really, really high to lefties. And this Twins lineup, it's going to be half and half, but their lefties are problems, right? Max Kepler's got a little bit of power, 273 ISO to righties since the beginning of last year. Jorge Polanco has just been their best player. You talk about underpriced, man. Polanco just does not deserve to be 3,600. Like, if he was 5K today, I'd be like, yeah, I get that. Polanco's been that guy for the Twins. 21, 14, 17, 10, 13, 12. I mean, what does he got to do to be over 4K? I'm not complaining, but I'm not saying, hey, the algorithm's got this one. I think he's severely underpriced as a player now in the 2 spot. So a lot of implied at bats out of this spot, right? Maybe 5, 6, and then he's already a low K guy. And if Pivetta's not striking you out, he's walking you, or is he allowing you to put the ball in play and maybe get a shot at some power? Don't really play Polanco for power, but it's not like he doesn't have power. So I think Polanco's a really good middle of the road value bet. Luis Ariz, another guy we don't play for power, but he could put the ball in play, maybe tap into the strike, the the walk rate, but also maybe he gets up with a couple guys on base based on that walk rate. So I do like the lefties here, at least the top end. Jay Cave had a fun at-bat to close that game. I don't know if you guys saw the ninth inning near collapse for the Red Sox. Yankees would never. And Jay Cave was up, put the ball in play, but the second baseman snared it and ended the game. And then against righties, Nick Pivetta, strikeouts and the home run per nine dips down a little bit. Overall, though, at home, Pivetta's home run per nine has been near 2. So Fenway has not been as good to him. So I like the Twins stack theoretically. So I'd be in on them as well. I like the Red Sox in and of themselves, but the Twins, look at these prices. Seem like I can put those with 2 high-end pitchers and live to tell about it. So I do like the Twins stack theoretically. Bailey Ober, you did your thing, dog. It's going to be a no for me. 2.17 homer per nine to lefties, 1.82 to righties. It's a tough matchup. A lot of power in this lineup. If he lived through and the Red Sox were slow burners like they have been lately, as chalk is what it is. But I think the numbers are the numbers, and the numbers say the Red Sox should be in a better spot than Bailey Ober is, right? Bomb detector, who's the bomb detector 11 from this game? JD Martinez, Hunter Renfroe both have over a 4 rating on the bomb detector. And then on the Twins side, Donaldson's 408. Miguel Sano is 415. That's going to be a tough one to get behind because of his strikeout rate. But yeah, Pivetta does allow some hard contact. I guess it's been better this year than years past, though. What's the pitch report saying on this one for Pivetta? Pivetta is throwing fastball, slider, curve. Miguel Sano hits the fastball, and that's about it. And a flock of seagulls. So, bomb detector says it likes Sano if he can put the ball in play, but doesn't really compensate for the strikeout rate. Rangers at the Indians, next game on the docket. What up, Chiles B? How are you? Thank you for stopping by. Yanni Hernandez. We do have confirmed lineups for both teams. Yanni Hernandez, Isaiah Kiner for Leffert, Adolis Garcia, Nate Lowe, DJ Peters, Andy. Who said it? Nick Solak is not batting 7th. Jason Martin is. Leody Taveras, Jose Trevino. So that's your confirmed Rangers lineup. On the Indian side, man, a lot of you guys woke up to play Eli Morgan yesterday. Me and Jack Flaherty laugh at you. Who had Jack Flaherty and Eli Morgan? Ow. My pride. Miles Straw, Ahmed Rosario, Jose Ramirez, Franmil Reyes, Oscar Mercado, Bradley Zimmer. Yu Chang, bro. Yu Chang. Owen Miller. And Austin. One of many Austins. Like, is Austin the most common name in the MLB? Like, is it? I feel like there's a lot of Austins. Austin Hedges, Austin Nola, Austin Riley. A lot of Austin. That's your confirmed lineup. All right, Jake Latz versus Zach Plesac. Well, we'll look at the Indians' run total here. They have a 5.3 run total. I have no information on Latz, so we have to go to the minor league numbers here and kind of see if we can guess what we're dealing with. 25 years old. Looks like he can bench press me. We've got 15 games started, 72 innings pitched, 93 strikeouts with a 1.4 whip. So the whip is not what you want. Strikeouts are up there. So I don't know if he's just allowing a really, really high average or he's got a walk problem, but we'll find out. 22 innings to lefties, 25 Ks, 261 average with 6 walks, 5 homers. Not what you want. And then 41 innings to righties, 4 homers. That's a little bit more. It's more better. With 59 strikeouts and 41 innings, 216 average allowed. So looks like he's got a problem with lefties. Righties, he's doing all right. But against lefties, not what you want. Does also have a high whip. He's got 22 walks to righties in 41 innings. So Walk problem to righties. If he can not walk them, he's got okay numbers. But against lefties, he's getting smacked around for a little bit of power. So taking that and looking at this really righty-heavy Indians team, that's intriguing. So he's a reverse splits lefty. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem great. Especially if he's going to keep walking people. So I'm okay with the Indian stack, 5+ and implied run total. Only 2 bats on this Indians lineup really project are expensive, not project expensive, but are really expensive, and that's Jose Ramirez, who is worth it, and then Franmil Reyes. There's still some pop in his bat, and then in the Rangers bullpen, probably not enough to push us away and scare us. So I'm there on the Indians. I don't want to be overly invested in the Indians because I don't think they're necessarily that great of a team. But yeah, Lats could have a tough first outing. Zach Plesac on the bump for the Indians. Just a 16% K rate to righties, a 16% K rate to lefties. XFIP is knocking on the door of 5. The results have been fine. The ground ball rate's high. The hard contact rate's low. I don't really care about the Rangers today. I don't feel like I have to even think about playing Plesac as deep as pitching is today, especially with some more strikeout favorable options. So I think the Rangers just exist, and they're over there, and I'm going to leave them over there. And if they go off, they go off. And I'm not gonna play Plesac either because I think pitching's deep. So I'm just gonna ignore that whole spot. Looking at the team, the player individual ISOs against righties since the beginning of last year, only Adolis Garcia has over a 200 ISO on this projected lineup. The rest is horrendous. Have you ever seen in August a team that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2K players on it? Is that crazy? And then the leadoff guy is 2200. This is the cheapest August lineup I've ever seen in my life. So I don't think I need to play it. Put that in perspective. I don't know. Would the numbers be next to their name now if we refresh? That is, I don't know if maybe I don't know. That just really stuck out to me. I don't think I've ever seen an all 2K starting line. September call-ups maybe, but it's not September. And I don't know. That seems crazy. Texas, just for the aesthetic hitters. Oh, you can't just put probables. All right. Well, yeah, 2K. That is so crazy to me. 2,200 or less for most of this lineup. Nate Lowe's 25. This has to be the cheapest lineup in the history of sports for a starting baseball team. That's crazy. Give me some Indians here. Sorry, I got sidetracked by that revelation. Next game on the docket: Brewers hosting the Reds. I guess we'll take a pause for the cause and plug RunDFS.com. Also, I have 4 or 5 spots left in a $100 ESPN season-long league. So if you guys want in on that, DM me on Twitter. We're doing a draft Monday night. We'll probably do it right here on the channel live. I have a $150 league that we're drafting, but I think we're going to draft this one first, about an hour after lock on Monday night. So if you are looking to start adding to your league or your season-long leagues, hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker. And this is the payout. We're going to do 600 the first, 400 the second, 200 the third. It is full DraftKings scoring. That's PPR. It's completely mirroring DraftKings scoring. PPR, bonuses, all that good stuff. Also, if you want to hang out with me before lock, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. I think this is one of the more valuable perks of having a subscription at RunDFS.com. I'll be in the voice chat before lock today, making my lineups, hanging out with the boys. If you guys are looking for a community to be part of. Make some friends in the DFS space, man. We'd love to talk to you. Very laid back Cadillac Jacks type of peeps. We have literal millionaires in here. We got people that work full time, and then we got people who do this full time. So no matter what your experience level is, there's no egos in there. Everyone's done it, right? We got guys that have won the Millie Maker twice, a couple 100Kers, and then guys that sweep up single entries, bets, all that stuff. So everyone's been there before, and we want you to be there too. So rundfs.com. Right now it's the last week. We're in the final days of the $20 week pass, and then when football's back, that stuff goes back up, and I think those prices change on September 1. Reds at the Brewers. Luis Castillo taking on Brandon Woodruff. We've got Jonathan India, Tyler Naquin, Nick Castellanos, Joey Votto, Mike Moustakas, Kyle Farmer, Tucker Barnhart. Shogo is not. Shogo is a no-go. Aristides Aquino is your 8-hole hitter. And we do not have a Brewers lineup. So, Castillo versus Woodruff, both plus pitchers, so it's hard to project either to get smacked here. Reds have just a 3.4 implied run total. Brewers sitting on a 4.2, so the game is at a 7.5 total. Kind of a low total for any game, but these two pitchers are pretty doggone solid. Castillo's actually been not shut down this season. Definitely not shut down on the road. 4.17 xFIP hiccup on the road this season. 21.3% K rate, 259 average allowed, 1.54 home run per 9. So the Brewers might have a shot here of maybe making some noise. Let me get the freaking Rangers out of my sight. Castillo 9,300. Let's look at his last couple of road games here. At Philly, solid. At Cleveland, not solid. So I think the Brewers would be kind of a team I don't mind getting to. He's got 5 starts against the Brewers this season, 9 earnings in 5 starts, 1 bomb, averaging 18 fantasy points per game. So maybe this is a play both sides of the fence type of situation. Doesn't really have a spot specifically that I want to pick on him to project power. He's allowed more homers to righties than lefties, but I think this is more of just cherry picking talent here. I think game total is going to be really, really low, so we can't really expect much often. And then Brandon Woodruff running it back here. I mean, this is a Reds lineup that does have a lot of talent, but it also has some strikeouts, and I think Woodruff is looking to bounce back from his rough start against St. Louis, and he was pretty trendy that night as well. I don't feel inclined to be over exposed to Woodruff or Castillo today because I do believe pitching is very solid at the top end, so I'm going to take what I can get. Woodruff is only giving you over 30 once in his last 10 at Arizona. He's averaging 22 at the house, averaging 18 against the Reds. So, I mean, there's plenty, if you're results-oriented, there's plenty of reason to be a little lower on Woodruff versus some of his cohorts at that price point. Kind of low fantasy points for a guy that has a 30% K rate, right? Anybody in chat, you guys feel like stacking either one of these teams in like 150? Let's see. Let's do a poll. Would you stack Reds or Brewers today in 150 lineups? Yes, no. Let's see what you guys are saying. We'll let that sit for a minute because I am kind of curious to see where you guys would be on a 7.5 game total with these two teams that they're in it, right? They're fighting for positioning, and we've seen Woodruff not necessarily be locked down as of late. We've seen Joey Votto just like put balls over the fence against really high-end pitching. We've seen a couple of these guys on the Reds side really surprise people, right? Jonathan India, Rookie of the Year. Tyler Naquin, 2,700, batting second. We've seen him in the top of the order in the last couple of weeks, and he's been really, really, really good, at least for fantasy sakes, out of that spot. So my question is, are you guys stacking a 3.4 implied total Reds team, right? I think I think I would get there. Scott says I might do 3 or 4 mans. Yeah, that's probably fair. If you gave me India, Naquin, Votto, Castellano, like I could take 3 of these 5 Moustakas. Once you get past Moustakas, it gets a little bit tougher to love. But just like the concept of these guys, it's still a park that can play plus, right? More homers than average. So I don't know. Woodruff is an interesting case study, right? I don't know. Let's look at the advanced metrics for Woodruff's last couple starts. But I mean, you guys saw it, right? A mostly righty Cardinals team in Busch Stadium, a pretty favorable park for pitchers, and they just got to him. So let's look at the game logs and maybe look at what's slipping or not slipping for him to be in this kind of rut. I don't play that many lineups. I'm new to this. Not true to this. No, I feel you. So 7% swinging strike rate against St. Louis, then 16, 12, 16. How's the batted ball data doing lately? Hard contact's been really low. Only 1 game in the last 5 over 30%. The xFIP has been 4+ in 3 of his last 4. So he's all over. He's really all over the place. And advance. I guess the BABIP against St. Louis was obviously high. Little high against the Giants. Giants have been good. 438 against Atlanta. So I'm kind of on the fence about what to expect out of Woodruff going forward here. But yeah, I do think this Reds team could be a little, maybe if nothing else, a little bit sneaky, right? I could see people not playing Woodruff because, hey, I'll just play Ohtani. I'll play Zach Wheeler. And people don't stack the Reds because they only have a 3.5 run total. But I don't know. I might get to a little bit of Reds, a little bit in the back end of a 150. Looks like half of you guys agree and half of you don't. So like, I guess that's what I expected, man. It's kind of a literal coin flip. And I guess in that same breath, like, are you that excited to play Brewers? The xFIP for Castillo against lefties is high. The walk rate to lefties is high. The Brewers could throw out a pretty lefty intense lineup, and then the Reds bullpen is below average, so maybe the Brewers could be a little bit intriguing as well. But we don't have that lineup yet, so I'll do us a favor and I'll go get that last game chopped up, and then we'll maybe revisit that question, and then revisit anything that you guys might have in chat, right? Dodgers and Padres, your main event tonight. Walker Buehler up against Blake Snell. Walker Buehler's 9.7K. Blake Snell 7.5K. Whenever the Dodgers and the Padres play, man, it is electric, especially when Tatis is in. This is absolutely I don't know how the NL West is going to shake out. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that National League West is nuts, and there might be a really good team that doesn't make it to the second round, but the Padres and Dodgers definitely a team or two teams that have put together some very entertaining baseball. So I'll be looking forward to watching this game in the background tonight. But Walker Buehler's on the bump for the Dodgers. He's been rock solid for them, and he might go backwards in ownership versus some of these other options at the 9,500 to 10K area. But last couple games for him, man, 26 plus DKP in 4 of his last 5. Essentially, as far as the eye can see, he's only had 2 downers, and one of them's the Houston Astros, the lowest K rate team in baseball, and the other's the Miami Marlins. What are you gonna do? But 100 to 110 pitches. I mean, this guy's a tank. So I think you have to get to a little bit of Buehler to diversify your pitching portfolio in 100, 150. Would be a good question to see if you guys would get to him in 20 or less, right? It's another one of those spots where I think the average player would be like, I don't like to pitch against the Padres, but I don't like to stack against Walker Buehler. You feel like one side could give in. And I'm leaning to having a little bit more Buehler than Padres stacks. 6,400 for Tatis against one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's a tall glass of water to sip on, but it is Tatis. Tatis, I think they moved him to outfield eligible as well, right? So dual position. So it's going to be a little bit easier to fit him in with a little bit of multi-position eligibility to kind of help you out and offset with some value. But the Padres have just a 3.7 implied run total, so a little bit more than the Reds. So yeah, I'm leaning to more Walker Buehler than the Padres, but I don't know that I wouldn't get to know Padres just out of having fun with that game. The Dodgers versus Blake Snell. Dodgers have a 4.4 implied run total. Snell's been better as of late, but I still think this Dodgers team is just a Death Star, right? And Blake Snell every now and then has those games where he goes short, or he loses the strike zone, or he just straight up gets shelled. 7 runs against Oakland on July 28th. 3 games against the Dodgers this season. He's holding his own, 15 innings, 19 Ks. They don't have Mookie back yet, but I read that Mookie Betts could be back over the weekend, so that's something to look out for. The rich keep getting on richer. Albert Pujols is 2,100, could be batting third or fourth. We see him sometimes against lefties in the starting lineup, but a couple guys here to stand out: Trey Turner, Justin Turner, Max Muncy hits lefties better than most people give him credit for. Will Smith, Chris Taylor. You might see a bump on Will Smith if he is in the lineup. We've seen him back clean up. So a couple of ways for that Dodgers lineup to come out. We probably don't get that lineup until like 20 minutes before lock, if that. But Blake Snell, anybody playing Blake Snell at 7,500? Are you trusting this stretch of solidness for him, or do you think 7,500, the risk reward, like there's just too many viable alternatives to take on a Dodgers team? That's kind of the boat that I'm in. I'm thinking I got plenty of pitching today. Is Blake Snell really going to break the slate against the Dodgers for me to need him? I'm hoping not. So I'm probably going to be on the outside looking in on the Blake Snell household. Don't clip that. I might get in trouble legally. I don't know. The hypocrisy of that statement from a Yankee fan. Which statement? I'm a little bit confused, because I made a lot of statements, perhaps more controversial than not. Chat. I need 5 subscribers to get to 5,300. I need 4 subscribers to get to 5,300. If you're out there and you're not subscribed, and you'll be like, all right, this dude's all right, I'll subscribe. I won't turn notifications on, but dagnabbit, I'll subscribe. Help me out, man. Just respect the grind. Get me to 5,300. I would surely appreciate it. And if you are subscribed and you just want to show some extra love, hit that thumbs up, man. I would appreciate that as well. That is our slate. We have hit every game. So at this portion of the stream, what I usually like to do is go back, get caught up on confirmed lineups, chat. We bounce some ideas off each other. If you guys had specific questions or specific statements, like ideas about the slate, we'll talk about that as well. We got plenty of time. We'll probably try to get you out of here in 10-15 minutes. That way you can catch the Awesemo streams. But yeah, we'll get caught up on lineups here. And if you haven't tried PrizePicks yet, PrizePicks.com, use code Gundacker. Maybe we'll look for a couple more picks on there as well. If you are out of here, I appreciate you. Again, we're trying to grind for 5,300. Need 4. Yesterday we actually lost 2 since last night, so need 4. Hopefully we'll get there today. If not, we'll just keep grinding, maybe tomorrow. What's up, Cameron? You doing all right, bro? The rich get richer. Okay, listen here, buddy. Listen here. Yankees aren't. If I'm correct, the Yankees are not paying for Joey Gallo or Anthony Rizzo. Or I want to say Odor either. So it's not like we're buying championships there, bro. Listen here. Our highest paid players are okay. Whatever. Missed the beginning. How do you like the O's? So I think the O's could be interesting as purely a leverage shot. I think Ohtani is not somebody specifically I want to go out of my way to pick on. But if Ohtani had a short game, I think the O's are cheap enough to if they get some opportunities off that bullpen, or if Ohtani had one of those rare blow-up games. But I don't think I would be more than like 6% on the O's on an aggressive number in 100. Wouldn't really be there on 20 or less. Mountcastle had a pair of bombs yesterday. Mancini, Santander, DJ Stewart batting 5th. Ramon Urias Jahmai Jones is batting 8th. Kelvin Gutierrez. And I hate Austin. Austin wins. Guys, there has to be a study. Like, Austin has to be the most common name in baseball, right? Like, is there a site that can track this? Like, there's a lot of freaking Austins. I don't know why that's on my brain right now. But this lineup for the Orioles comes out a little bit worse. Yeah, 1 through 4 is a problem, but once you get through 4, it's a cliff. So I like Ohtani at 8,700 to be super solid, super strong. But that is our confirmed Orioles lineup. We already had the confirmed lineup for the Rays and Phillies. Pirates lineup did come out. We got Chavis, we got Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds, Yoshi, Sasugo, Jacob Stallings, Kevin Newman, Gregory Polanco, Anthony Alford. So a bunch of who's who of who's that. A lot of high K rates too. Gilbert, not really a strikeout guy. Not much power here. I guess Michael Chavis against a contact lefty would kind of stick out to me. He did get into Madison Bumgarner, I think it was. How is Chavis like the same price as Polanco off of like a few? I really don't understand the DraftKings algorithm sometimes. But yeah, he got into one yesterday. He's a guy that we know historically could get to lefties. So I don't mind looking his way if I had to be a little different. But I feel like at that price point, like I can do better. 2K on Fanduel, however, a little bit more value in that. Blue Jays lineup just came out. Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien, Vladdy Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, Corey Dickerson, Alejandro. Don't call his name. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Randall Grichuk, and Santiago Espinal is batting 9th. I guess we'll look at the bomb detector too. You guys like the bomb detector. NF is high on Chavis, just saying. What is NF? The rapper? He plays DFS? That's a joke. What is NF, though? Is that Number Fire from Fanduel? I'm guessing that's what that is. Jesus Aguilar batting second for the Marlins. Jesus Sanchez, Brian Anderson, Isan Diaz, Jorge Alfaro, Brian De La Cruz, and Edward Cabrera, man. All right, so this lineup for the Marlins is a strikeout lineup. Look at this. Just Jesus Aguilar with a sub 20% K rate, 25-ish% cumulatively or greater for the rest of the lineup. So Josiah Gray's in a super smash spot. So that definitely unlocks, him paired with like an Ohtani. That probably gets you a really strong start to like a Red Sox stack. Maybe that's the chalk donkey start, but I mean that's a favorable spot there, favorable park. So kind of like him, I'm digging Nick Gordon for a sneaky min-price smash play. All right, there you go. Don't want to be infringing on copyrights. You dig? Oh, I don't think. Okay. Mets lineup is out, confirmed. Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso. So it does not look like Lindor's back. Jeff McNeil. You're Jeff McNeely. What's that movie? Has it Never Been Kissed? Where the kid's name is it Trent McNeil? Trent McNeely? He's like, you're Trent McNeely. That's that reference if you guys ever wondered. All right. So no Lindor back for the Mets today. So you don't have the dilemma of Baez versus Lindor. Maybe DraftKings will fix that so it doesn't become one, right? Don't start no problem, won't be no problem. Brewers lineup is out. Colton Wong, Omar Narvaez, a 2-hole catcher. Hello, how we doing? Yelich in the 3-spot. What did I just do to this man's name? Narvaez. Christian Yelich. Batting third. Avi Garcia. Rowdy Tellez. I'm losing my voice. That's a problem. I need it so bad. Chat, we're going to do a video Probably get it released by on Sunday, since Sunday is usually a no content day. I went back and looked at every NFL Millie Maker winning lineup last year and pulled away some of the more notable correlations. So we'll probably drop that on Sunday, and that's the reason why we haven't had some videos the last couple days, the first looks, because I've been spending some time overnight working on some NFL content. So forgive me for slacking on the first looks, but I promise you I'm still putting in some work for you guys on some content, especially for NFL. So we're going to have a ton of NFL content this season, and that's going to be one of them. I want to have a little bit more content on the channel with some shelf life. Pretty much everything I post is worthless within a matter of hours. There's only, the highest bomb rating today is 4.19. So usually we'll see some guys on a slate this size get to like 4.3, 4.4. Today's just 4.19. So there's not a ton of power for as many games are on the slate on the bomb detector. There's still some names here, but Ketel Marte is at the top. So that's kind of crazy. So something to think about here. It's maybe not the home run slate that we're looking for. But yeah, we're gonna have a ton of NFL content coming forward, and also some membership only content as well. A lot of stuff for this upcoming NFL and basketball season, taking the channel to new heights with our 5,296 subscribers. Hopefully 5,300 tomorrow. But that's it, man. You guys got anything else for me? If not, we can get out of here. I can start prepping for the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. If you hit that thumbs up on your way out, I would appreciate it. If you want to play NFL season long with us, DM me on Twitter. I got spots left in a $100 entry league. First pay, first serve. We'll be drafting that on Monday night, and you guys can have some fun with me. I'll probably stream it right here on the channel. I'll have 2 drafts that we might stream on Monday night, about an hour after main slate lock. So yeah, hey, otherwise tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon we'll be back with another live stream. Is there day baseball tomorrow? If there's an early slate, I'll make a deal. If there's an early slate, I'll do an early breakdown, since that seems to be a little bit more important than the first look at the main slate. There is an early slate, but there's not. Tomorrow in the morning, we're going to have Angels, Orioles, Reds, Brewers, White Sox, Blue Jays. So probably not. So we'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central on this channel. I appreciate you guys making part of my day, be part of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you crush it tonight. As always, good luck. God bless. Go win some money.